All right, welcome into another edition of Cash and Tickets. This is Poolside Bets. I'm Franklin, that's Paul. We are on location at the fabulous Stone Pony, downtown Clarksdale, Mississippi. We're back here. We're doing trivia tonight, so we decided we'd just go ahead and shoot a show here tonight on Wednesday night. So you might not get a whole lot of betting information about specific games. We'll talk about some football. Obviously, there's plenty still going on, and some other topics we're interested in. So again, here at Stone Pony, this is Poolside Bets, bringing you another edition of Cash and Tickets. Catch us on Twitter at Poolside Bets and on YouTube, Poolside Bet, no S. And we're on Facebook. I never do say the Facebook, right?
And we got TikTok in the work. It's
Yeah,
happening.
that's right. We got
going.
a new intern that we're gonna break in here any day now.
Just
So
got to figure out what the password is. We're all off and running.
apparently nobody knows the password, so it's apparently old. Anyway, we'll get this thing started. I don't know where you want to go, but I guess had NFL divisional round last week, and we're now down to the Final Four. So I guess we'll get it kick started with football if you want to, Paul.
Yeah, fire away. I know the game you want to start with.
I think everybody knows at this point I'm a big 49ers fan. So, that was a big win for the 49ers to move to, I believe this is the third NFC championship game they've been to in the last 4 years.
Pretty good.
Made one Super Bowl, lost it. We know about that, Paul. Would you like to bring that back up? You got any memories you want to? Nothing?
Not if you want not if you want me to put them back on the board.
All I know is that once they lost, COVID hit. So I don't know if we blame them for COVID or.
It's not a coincidence.
No, it's not in our world.
That thing was rolling good until that point.
Absolutely, yeah. We had it going, and boy, that just kind of put a damper on the whole year. But anyway, yeah. So they made it last year, lost to the Rams, and now they'll be facing the Eagles, who. I don't know if there's much to say about that game. Just demolished the New York Football Giants.
I misread that one, boy. I thought the Eagles would come out kind of slow and sluggish, but no, that's a good football team. Y'all got to play Sunday. It's gonna be tough.
Obviously, they were ready to go. They put it on Daniel Jones. He couldn't get anything done. Saquon Barkley couldn't find any room to run, and there's not a whole lot of talent at the wide receiver and tight end position for the Giants, and the defense just could not hang on. So, yeah, they came out early and strong and often, and
a great
Eagles
year
put
by
them
the
away.
Giants, though, because they were nothing last year.
Yeah, I mean, right? Dayball gets Coach of the Year. Or is Dan Campbell getting the Lions almost a playoff? I mean, I don't know which was the better coaching job.
Now, to me, it was Campbell, but it is what it is.
Yeah, just because of the whole line situation and what it's been over the years, I think I side with you and go with.
And they got
Dan Campbell
Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones is serviceable as a quarterback, so it's not like he was handed nothing.
That's true.
But I know the Lions had Jared Goff, but other than really that, they didn't have nothing.
But he was a castaway
and
from
he had,
the Lions.
Yeah, a defeated quarterback, a bunch of misfits. Dan Campbell walks in there and gets all angry and old school coach with them, and here they go.
Yeah, apparently the Hard Knocks was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't catch any of it. I don't know. Watching that kind of thing is not really my deal. I dive more into the actual minutia of the football game. So watching I don't know. I mean, I guess it was maybe something I'll start catching. I've watched some in the past. You watch much Hard Knocks?
Didn't watch the last few. I didn't have the HBO subscription, so I wasn't able to.
I just don't get into it much. But, yeah, great season by the Lions every day. So on the other side, let's get to the AFC. Kind of thought the Jaguars would keep close in there with the Chiefs, and they did. And, boy.
They played a lot better than I thought they were.
It looked tricky there when Mahomes limped off the field with the high ankle sprain.
That had everything to do with that game, in my opinion. I think that this week there's a lot of smoke around his ankle, but I think it's not good.
Look, high ankle sprains are never good, and when they said that's what it was, I mean, I don't know how he's ready to go. And I think I read something earlier that he said he's ready and good to go, and maybe he's just made different. He's young. Maybe there's no way he heals that quickly.
I don't care how much wrapping, how much Toradol, how much whatever kind of medicine you want to shoot up in there. I mean, all it's going to take is him to roll out one time and somebody roll that ankle up and all that.
And it's
hang
over.
all that up.
Hey, and I know it. I did see it talked about some, but I don't know if it got enough. The drive that Chad Henne led before, I think it was before halftime, after Mahomes goes down, he leads them down maybe 90 yards, 90-something yards on a touchdown drive to increase their lead.
Yeah.
And What I mean, hey,
Yeah. Well, how good a coach is Andy Reid, though?
well, that's a great luxury to have. Chad Henne's been around the league. He knows what to do, what his job is, and he came in and boy, he did it well. Got them the touchdown, and they stayed ahead from there. The Jaguars had all the chances. The fumble inside the 10-yard line.
That Jaguars team's. I mean, it's pretty much.
They feel like they're coming, don't they?
Yeah, it's the pro Clemson team, but I mean, they got it. But they're going to be scary the next few years.
I mean, Doug Peterson's a good coach, obviously. I don't know what happened in Philadelphia, but, I mean, obviously a really good coach.
Yeah, no, he's good. Hell, he won a Super Bowl in Philly.
He's either really good or that just insinuates how – or puts emphasis on how bad Urban Meyer was.
Well, yeah, and also in Philly, I mean, they threw batteries at Santa Claus. So if you lose 2 games in a row, they're ready to get you out of there.
They'll run anybody out of there.
You could have whoever you wanted to up there. It's a fantastic sausage cheese tray they just brought
Yeah,
out.
they just brought it out, so we're going to kind of die. I don't think I can get it on the anyway. We got it over here. So you see me moving, or you see that sausage going there. You know what's happening. We got the Stone Pony cheese tray. I try, Paul. Just making it a little funny.
I know. You're doing it. Just keep your sausage below the camera.
Yeah.
Be fine.
All right. So that's what happened there. Let's talk about the other game.
Which game you want to talk about?
Well, the only other one left that happened last week on Sunday
Sunday night?
when the Bengals took on the Bills.
Oh, yeah. That was I missed on that one, too. I ain't going to lie.
I liked the Bengals to cover, but I did not see a win. I didn't see this dominant of a performance considering what their offensive line looked like going into that game.
If you told me that they were playing in the snow in Buffalo and Cincinnati was going to turn and just beat the hell out of them, I wouldn't have believed it.
Well, you tell me it was going to snow like that, I would have told you Buffalo by 30.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, because when it snows like that, the offense has the advantage because they know where they're going.
Yeah.
And as a defense, you have to react, and it's hard to react in that weather, in that snow. And so I thought Buffalo at some point would get it going. They just got both the interior, the lines, the inside. They just got dominated on both sides of the ball. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, a lot of times the line is where it's at. You can watch that play, and you can kind of tell which team is going to be ready to go. And it was that way from the start to the end.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive performance, and that's why if you look at this week's game, you gotta lean toward the Bengals because you got an unhealthy Mahomes, and that Bengals team just may be better.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned how much I always liked Joe Burrow, especially coming out of high school, and he just continues to get it done.
Yeah, he's been good to us, that's for sure.
He beat Kansas City last year, obviously, in the playoffs, in this game to get to the Super Bowl. He beat them this year in the regular season, I believe. He's going for 3 in a row against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, hey, look, and he's got the win over Josh Allen and the Bills, who were heavily favored for the Super Bowl this year. I don't know how you keep doubting them out, but look, Vegas has turned into it. They've turned on to it. And, of course, this has to do with the Mahomes situation. But the Bengals are a road favorite in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's a big favor. I think they're a couple of points. They're favored by a couple. But the Chiefs will be able to play the underdog card, which they hadn't been able to play in a long time.
Yeah, so 1 point, pretty much. I mean, to give the Bengals, I mean, that's 100% Mahomes is why that's going on now. If it looks like he's going to be healthy, watch that line turn around pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, and I just don't know what to read from that game. Did the Bills just not play well, or did the Bengals, all those backup linemen, just play that well? Now, I think they're going to – 2 of the linemen are going to try to come back for the Bengals in this AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I don't know. The Bengals defense played outstanding. They didn't run the ball well. The Bills couldn't run the ball. They couldn't move. Josh Allen can get
Well, they didn't get Josh Allen running. I mean, and he's their leading rusher.
Man, just couldn't get it done, man.
I mean, there's a lot of soul searching to be done for the Bills here in the offseason because it's just 2 years in a row now where they had it right there, everything they wanted right there in front of them, and Couldn't get it done.
Had 8 penalties for 60 yards. You can't do that. The Bengals had 2 for 9. That's 63 yards rushing. You're not going to beat anybody with these numbers.
Nope. I mean, the other games, the Jags, yeah, they had a chance. The Bills were still in it in the third quarter. I think it was a 7-point game. The Giants were never in it. But, boy, that Sunday night game, it had me up off my couch a bunch of times.
Never had a doubt.
I mean, both teams, just the defenses for both teams played outstanding. You had the one big play by Kittle, the one-arm stab. He finally bobbles it and gets, and that led to the touchdown. And, of course, go back to the touchdown for the Cowboys when Maher, he was going to miss that extra point anyway.
That thing may have ended up in a parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, it gets blocked, but it was blocked by a dude that was way on the end of the line.
He had no business touching the football.
No, absolutely not. So that was not to go. So anyway, what I'm getting at is that game's 19-12 there with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys had the ball. It should have been 19-13. They could have been driving for the game-winning touchdown. But they were, of course, had they scored, they might have gone for 2 to take the lead to still get it to 20.
No,
I don't know how you trust the guy.
But you know what's so sad, though? Is I was reading today that Dak didn't have it. I mean, he did okay, but he threw his picks like we kind of knew he was going to do.
Yep.
And then his girlfriend left him this week.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
God damn. I was like, yeah, why?
Did you see what the official Cowboys Twitter did? They put it all on Dak and have not taken it down. I don't know if somebody was in there having fun. Let's just see how long this is allowed to stay up. It never got taken down. I mean, they literally just put it all on Dak.
They let Stephen A. Smith take over the Cowboy Twitter account.
Boy, he gave Michael Irvin. And Michael Irvin just sat back and said, I just got to take it.
Until next year.
Hey, the only thing I hate right now is yesterday or the day before, Michael Irvin is now a 49ers fan. And I was like, man, come on. We don't need we don't need that. We don't need that because he doesn't want the Eagles to get there, plain and simple. So, like, come on, man.
The way that game ended, though, with the funny lineup and how they looked like they were going to try to just do some crazy stuff to try to win it at the end.
Unbelievable. What was that?
And that is like it was like the most Cowboys thing ever. Like,
and that's 2 years in a row. Last year they mishandled the clock, and Dak runs off on a run instead of going down early enough. They can't get. They don't even get the last snap off. Yeah. And then this year their last snap is Elliott getting blown up as a snapper.
He's in the protocol.
Yeah. And Turpin catches it 5 yards before the first down and gets blown up by Jimmy Ward. I mean, great tackle by Jimmy Ward, just blowing that thing up, not letting it go to all the laterals. But my goodness, if you're a Cow, and I apologize to my whole family out there in Texas, to my mom and everybody, you deserve better. You deserve better. Is all I can tell you.
I don't know why they're not going after the Saints old Saints coach so hard.
Sean Payton.
He wants that job.
You damn right he wants that job. He'd take that over Bengals or anybody else that's offering him the job.
Mike McCarthy's a great offensive mind, but he is not. When has he got it done?
You say that, but what was that play? What was it? I would love to know what that was supposed to be, what it was supposed to look like if the 49ers don't blow it up from the go.
You'd like to see it with no defense on the field.
Yeah, just show me what you're thinking.
Yeah, draw it on the whiteboard.
Hey, I would take that ring around the rosy Chiefs deal they did over that play. I mean,
well, they're just goofing off, wasn't they?
But they executed better than the Cowboys did. Oh man, that just look. I didn't send one ugly Facebook message to my family. Not one. Not to them. Not directly. All I said was I thought Purdy was supposed to be the one to look like the rookie quarterback. That's all I said.
Okay.
I didn't say anything ugly to the family. It just because you just feel sorry, and at this point, isn't it just empathy? You just
I don't feel sorry for him at all.
But for my family, not for the Cowboys.
If I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm just at this point, you just expect it. Why aren't you?
Yeah, I tell you what, I saw something on Facebook before we started this thing about an hour ago, and this guy filled out a form. It had a 49ers helmet at the top, and then under it, it said. Bandwagon application. And it had to say your former team, and the guy put Dallas Cowboys. And then they said the reasons why. He says, I'm sick of having to follow all this. And Joe Montana's the greatest quarterback ever. He signed it and dated it and was hoping the 49ers, hoping us fans will let him on the bandwagon. I don't know if there's much room, buddy. You have to stay with the Cowboys.
I know where there ain't a lot of bandwagon members right now over in that Pittsburgh deal.
Pittsburgh, y'all not picking them up very much right now?
No, there's openings on that bus.
Is there opening for an offensive coordinator? Because I can draw up plays, man.
Apparently not. Apparently we got the guy we want, and he's going to lead us to the promised land.
He's fantastic, isn't he? Don't you love all the fun plays he dials up?
I'll give you the stats for our offense this year, and you got to scroll way down to get to them.
You got to scroll.
And then players, they're like, hey, that's on us. We got to execute the plays. I'm like,
so yeah, but if it's bad from the go, do you really want to execute it?
1 year maybe, 2 years, 3 years, ooh.
All right, so
his only claim to fame was the LSU gig, and he wouldn't even.
He wasn't good there.
No, he had Joe Brady was the passing game coordinator. Come on, man.
It was bad.
Why is he still a thing?
He shouldn't be a thing. All right, so that's your divisional round wrap up. We're now down to 4 teams. We got as we mentioned, the Bengals and the Chiefs. I believe that's the late game Sunday. And then the early window at 2 o'clock is San Francisco 49ers travel to Philly to take on the Philadelphia Eagles and the juggernaut that they are offensively.
Yeah. The line there is 2.5 on the. You want to do the San Francisco game last since you want to?
Yeah, we can. We can start with the late game. We can start with the Bengals and the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Bengals. I mean, like I said, we kind of went over it a little bit. It's all the Mahomes story. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? How healthy he's going to be? If you like any of the Chiefs receiving props, go get them now because they're down a little bit because of that. And if he comes out and he's healthy, those things
they'll go up.
They'll go up.
Go get them. Yeah, go get. I mean, who's their guy? Juju Smith.
He spreads that thing around like
Travis Kelce.
Kelce, Juju. What's the guy that played for the Giants for all those years? Let me see if I can pull that up.
Oh no. What was his? Sterling. No, I can't think. Giants.
Yeah,
wide receiver for the Giants.
Yeah, hold on a second.
I excited Juju Smith-Schuster and they had McCole Hardman doing some stuff with him, and I think he's injured.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, they got a little bit of taste of 22.5. Let's see, where's the props?
Now this is the Chiefs receiving props.
Kadarius Toney's who I'm thinking of.
Kadarius Toney, yeah, that's right. He was with the Giants. You're right.
That's what I'm thinking of. But, I mean, his longest reception is 17.5 yards. If he's going to catch one, it's going to be – I mean, they ain't throwing it behind the line of scrimmage to him on.
Well, they do some bubble screens and stuff like that, and he's a speedster, I believe.
Yeah, his receiving yard is 35.5. So if his longest reception is 17, and you think he's going to get that, then well, I mean, he don't need about two or three receptions. He got his total.
He's got his total. That's right.
Might get it on one play.
What's the Kelce? It's got to be up there, I imagine, because I mean he's really the one that's most counted on.
Well, I was wrong on that Pikachu guy, wasn't I?
Boy, they let Pacheco do. I mean, they may go with him a lot more. They did not get McKinnon involved as much as I thought.
Yeah, I was wrong on that one.
I was too. I had McKinnon anytime touchdown score, and he did not get in the end zone.
I'm looking for that prop, by the way. I hadn't found it yet.
For the Kelce prop?
Total receptions for Kelce is minus 6.5.
Okay.
And the over is juiced to 157. That's
Goodness
a lot.
gracious.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of juice to pay for 7 catches.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
Well, you just got to watch this game. You got to watch the health of Mahomes. I mean, of course, you're not going to know, until late, and I'm sure he's going to give it a go. But if you're leaning spread here, I don't know how you get off the Bengals at this point. I mean, they just look too good as a team, as a complete team. They're better defensively. They're healthier offensively, and they just put it on the Bills. I know that score wasn't bad, but they really dominated the Bills in every facet of the football game. I mean, it was really never in doubt. I don't think we ever thought the Bills were getting back in that game. So I would, and especially with just the 1 point, I guess I'd have to lean Bengals here. What are you thinking
Yeah, no,
for the win, Paul?
it's Bengals for me. I'm trying to find that Kelsey prop, and I just can't find it
The
anywhere.
total receiving yards,
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's in the 70s.
They also have Marquise Scantley too.
Oh, Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot the Green Bay reject. The guy couldn't ever catch the damn ball.
yeah.
Boy, Aaron Rodgers stayed on his ass the last couple of years.
Let's look at the numbers there as far as the betting goes, because you got
See where the money's going.
a lot of spread money going to the Bengals. The money line betting split pretty equally, and then the over is getting hammered,
What is the over? What's that number?
47.5.
I can see that. I can understand why that's getting hit pretty hard. But if Mahomes can't maneuver, it could be a 27-10 football game. That's 10 points short of the over. I mean, you'd like to see him healthy, and I would definitely look at the over there if you knew Mahomes was completely healthy. But you can't convince me that he's going to be even at 85% for this game come Sunday. Not with a high ankle sprain.
Looking through some of these props. I'm sorry, I'm over.
Oh, you're good. You go ahead.
It's team total was 23 for the Bengals. That seems like it's a little low.
I think so. Especially if you like them if you like them to win this game, they're gonna. I think they're at least gonna have to score more than that to get the win. Don't you? 27.
I think they can. I think they can go out there and get it done.
I do too. I think they're gonna win this game. I kind of thought once they beat the Bills, I kind of thought they had a chance to win it regardless of Mahomes' health.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd be getting points, but
I don't know why I got off of them, because I liked them when they played the Bills the first time. I guess it was
well,
offensive line.
Yeah, and that was the only reason it changed when we had our last show. You just kept saying you just don't know about that offensive line.
Well, I
and
know
the Bills were so beat up defensively they couldn't. I mean, it just kind of washed itself out, I guess.
Yeah, I know now. I looked at the weather report for that game. I don't think the weather's going to be bad. Looks like everything is not going to be no crazy.
Probably in the mid 30s, something like that, over in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's a 48-degree high. 24% chance of rain. Wind north 13 mile an hour. That's your daily Paul weather report.
Yeah, so it's going to be fine over there in Kansas City. Yeah, the Joe Burrow. I mean, they just played in a snowstorm, so I mean, they're not going to be phased. So yeah, just take a look at your receiver props now before we know anything about Mahomes. And see, they probably, like Paul said, you can probably get them a little lower. Those receiving totals for the Bengals are probably going to be high. You're probably going to be in the 70s or 80s for Jamar Chase. I don't hate taking a look at the Mixon. The Chiefs aren't great defensively stopping the run. That I mean, just haven't been in years past. I mean, their offense has propped them up more than anything. I don't hate Joe Mixon here, but he's probably at north of 55, I would imagine, 55 to 60 rushing yards. Anytime touchdown, I love Joe Mixon there, but it may not even get you plus money, but probably won't be juiced as bad as some of the other props, don't you think?
Kansas City against the spread hadn't been good either this year. For some reason.
No, they have not. Well, they've been double digits a lot this year.
Yeah. Vegas probably caught up to them, but I don't know. Give me the Bengals, and I'm not even gonna worry about it.
There you go. I like it. All right, so we'll move back in time. We'll go to the 2 o'clock game. That is the 49ers travel to the East Coast, take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I was thinking I had Phillies in my head for some reason.
They used to be the Steagles during World War II. Trivia.
Since
we're doing
good.
trivia tonight.
So, it's funny. I was listening to a bunch of baseball stuff today about the Baseball Hall of Fame, and they drive me absolutely insane the way that they do that. They're awful. Those baseball writers should be ashamed of how they do the whole deal. But so anyway, I had baseball on my mind. So Philadelphia Phillies was starting to come out, and then I knew it was the Eagles. So Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Anyway, so they travel to take on the Eagles. This is going to be absolutely the best team they've played all year long.
They're really good.
But they've been up to the defense has been up to the task all year. I don't know how you don't trust them. They dominated this Cowboys game. Everything they needed to do, they did. They got the 2 turnovers. They blocked the extra point. And the 49ers also made a mistake. They made a mistake on special teams. Ray McLeod fumbles the football there on a punt that allowed Dallas, I believe, at that time to tie the game at 9. And the offense didn't get rolling like you expected them. And
McCaffrey never did nothing. I'd like to see him get him out and line him up in the slot.
Well, the one place where the Eagles are vulnerable, that's in the running game. They are not as good. They're not as stout as Dallas is at all.
Or either put the backup in, let him go in there and soften him up a little bit, and try to gash him.
You got to bring in Mitchell more than we did against the Cowboys, I believe. I think they were trying to hit the Cowboys with McCaffrey's speed because they rush up the field so quickly. Yeah. They were hoping McCaffrey could get past them. But their linebackers, Van Der Esch, played really, really well for the Cowboys. I think you got to use Mitchell and Debo more early to loosen them up and let McCaffrey go late.
Yeah, his total rushing yards for this game is 60. If it goes anyway like it did last Sunday night, he ain't getting close.
He won't get close to that. That's absolutely right. I think they're going to have better rushing totals in this game.
Kittle's completions is 3.5. Is juiced to -189.
Obviously, I love that, but why not make it 4 or 4.5 and bring the juice? I don't understand that.
Good Lord.
Because he's been averaging more than that since Purdy's been had to take over the starting quarterback spot. I mean, I think he had 5 for 95 against the Cowboys. They hit him with some big plays. Kittle can always go get you a big one. Maybe look at his longest reception because he breaks a lot of tackles. The 49ers are the best in the league at yards after the catch. 20, yeah. I mean, he catches a 15-yard seam route, and then he's gone for another 10 or 15 breaking tackles, and you get the over right there. I don't hate that at all.
Deebo Samuel's over rushing is 19.5.
Yeah, they're going to have to run him. They'll put him in the backfield, move him around some, and he can break one easily to get that rushing. I think that's the only. I think everything else is pretty even as far as the both teams go. But I think we're better in the backfield because the Eagles have Miles Sanders, but that's I don't know what they have after that.
I don't see Jalen Hurts running on this team either. It's the 48.
Well, I guess you have to consider him a runner.
I don't think they're going to risk him. I mean, if he gets out there, he's not going to try for extra yardage or whatever. He's going to get down and get out of bounds.
Well, they're gonna the 49ers defensive line is going to play like they did against Dak Prescott, and they're going to have to do it more with Jalen Hurts because Dak will run it. He's just not a run-first guy, but he can run. And Hurts is going to try to get his yardage, and the Eagles are going to scheme him up to get it. So the defensive line, the tackles are going to have to, the way that they play those ends, they're not going to rush hard, just get to the passer. They're also going to try to contain and keep him in the pocket where he can't break it outside.
Yeah, you give me Robbie Go over 1.5 field goal.
Oh, absolutely. I had his.
13.
I loved his over.
That ain't bad at all.
I loved his over 7.5 points last week. He got there easy. He had 4 field goals, and that was not a problem. 4 field goals and an extra point.
Just curious. A ton of money coming in on the Eagles on that number because it's 2.5. If it gets to 3, it changes. 3.5 definitely changes.
And I understand that for the bettors because you look at this that they're facing a rookie quarterback. They have, they got 4 dudes on that defensive line that have double-digit sack numbers. I mean, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. But they've given up 20 points a game, though, so it ought to be a dogfight just like last week. I expect both teams to really get after it, be ready to go. I'll be, like I said last week, I'll be biting a towel and make sure the refrigerator's stacked full of refreshments.
I hope so because I don't want to run out.
Yeah, we hate to run out. But I'm looking forward for a good game. I don't know how to call this one. I was more confident last week just because you expect the Cowboys to cowboy, and they kind of did. They kind of did in every facet that we spoke about. They did it. Dak made mistakes. McCarthy didn't coach the end of the game well. I expected more on offense. I'm not going to lie there. I expected more from the 49ers offense. But what do you think, Paul?
I lean to the under if I'm going to bet this
bet
game.
this game. Yeah.
I'm not going to bet a lot of money on anything to do with this game. I do like that Robbie Gold 1.5 field goal.
Is it
prop.
1.5 field goals?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
That may be the bet to make right there. I mean, because the Eagles will keep them out of the end zone a few times, but I think we moved the ball enough to get in field goal range more than once.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, like I said, it's like minus 113. So there's nothing. I mean, you're not scared of that. I mean, you don't have to risk a lot of money there.
No, and I'm not going to say it. He's really good in the playoffs. is all I.
He was good last week.
That's all I'm going to tell you. He went 4 for 4 last week.
Yeah, total made field goals 1.5.
God, I love that.
It's the under is juiced higher than the over. The under is 121. The over.
Wonder
is
why they
113.
don't. I mean, I guess they just think the Eagles aren't going to allow us to move the football.
I think they. I
Right?
think I think it's going to be. Well, I mean, if you think it's going to go under, the betting numbers are saying over. A lot of over betting here.
That don't make sense.
But if
How
you,
does that?
if you
That
get-
doesn't add up.
Yeah, if you've been watching the football, I mean, they're not going to just. If this thing gets into the 45s or whatever, I'd
There's
be
lots of
shocked.
field goal. Yeah, I would be. Yeah. You got two good defenses. You got one that can really get after the quarterback, and you got a rookie quarterback on the other side, and you got another the defense on the other side in red and gold. They're the number one.
Is there any possible way this thing
Defense.
turns into a shootout? I know.
You know that's happened before when two big defenses go at each
I just
other.
don't
It's
see
happened.
it.
After watching the 49ers Dallas game, how could you see this game being much different? I mean, what happened? A.J. Brown breaks a big one. Jalen Hurts gets outside a couple of times and hurts you, and it gets out of hand. I mean, I guess.
I don't see Jalen Hurts getting loose on this defense.
Well, I think we can. I am nervous about having to cover both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, but boy, when I mentioned the one weakness on the 49ers defense was Demo Lenore, the other corner opposite Javarius Ward, the kid's got an interception in the last two games, and he played his tail off. He picked Dak in the first quarter last week, and he read that route, and he jumped it and took it away. So, I mean, look, what I thought was a weakness, the kid's playing great. Doesn't mean he won't get burnt a couple of times in this game, but, they're going to have to play stout. But the Eagles have got to be thinking the same thing, right? They can't be just too
They're not
comfortable.
No, that rushing total for Hurts is inflated to me. It's 48 yards rushing for him.
If he gets that, he's going to have to break one for 30.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't see it happening because they're going to have somebody watching him.
Well, they're going to play the same way they played against Dak. They pressed the ends and they kept him in. They didn't let him get on the outside. And then when you come up the middle, you got Dre Greenlaw and you got all-pro Fred Warner sitting there waiting on you. Unless they got them all running routes where they got their backs turned. I just don't see it.
I don't like that number. That number is just weird to me because if he's out there running for 50, 60 yards, the 49ers are in trouble.
It's a blowout. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's going to be trouble. If every time he takes off running, he gets 10 to 15 yards.
Yeah, that may be wishful thinking and whatnot, but I don't understand that line. Which I know he's really, really good, but he's also very, very valuable to that team.
Well, the only other thing I can think there is they probably know Miles Sanders is not going to be able to get a lot on the ground against this defense because we're the number one rushing defense in the league. So, yeah, a buddy of ours just walked up. He's repping the poolside bets. So proud to have Cameron here. Repping the brand for us.
Ezekiel had 26 yards on 10 carries. Dak had 22 yards on 4 carries. Tony Pollard got hurt, but he only had 22 yards, and CeeDee Lamb had 6 yards. Where's they?
You don't run on them. You don't run on them.
Where's he going to go?
Well, I think that number – here's my idea why that number's inflated. That's their best chance of getting rushing yards is having Jalen Hurts get the yardage. I don't think Miles Sanders is gonna get more than 40 to 50 yards. I just don't see it unless there's breakdowns. But they ain't broken down all year. The one guy that had success was Josh Jacobs, and that dude led the league in rushing. He's a monster.
He had 9 carries for 34 yards last week against the Giants.
Sanders did right. No,
that's Hurts.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Well, once that game got in hand, they didn't have to run it.
No,
they jumped out 21-0 early.
They ran it well. Now they had 112 yards by Gainwell, and Sanders had 90, but Hurts only had 34 yards. I mean, I don't understand this. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to bet that.
Sounds like one to go get.
I'm betting.
Can you do a same game parlay and take Robbie Gold over 1.5 and take Hurts under 48 yards?
Yes, sir.
I think we just dialed one up.
We got two anyway.
Yeah, you can make two single bets, or you can roll those in together and get you some plus money there. I love that Robbie Gold. All he's got to make is 2 field goals. Okay. I mean, all right.
I don't get it.
I'll take it. They're going to get over the 50. They're going to get to the 35-yard line a couple of times, and the guy, I can't say kid, he's a full grown. He's been in the league for 20-something years.
Does the start time affect them any?
It's an early game.
It's 2 o'clock. I mean, I get it. It's on the East Coast. They got to go all the way across the country.
That'd be an 11 o'clock start for them.
I mean,
normally,
does it mess them up, or is it just?
I mean, it's tough for teams to travel, but
it's the playoffs, man. You got to be ready for that.
Yeah, they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready. And the 49ers have been good on the East Coast in years past. They were really good under Jim Harbaugh, but they used to go out there and stay an extra day and get their bodies acclimated. He did real well with that. And if they had 2 games back-to-back on the East Coast, they'd never leave. They wouldn't go home. They would find a spot to post up and play the next game. I mean, look, they'll be ready to go.
Does that thing get to 3?
That line?
Yeah.
I'd imagine by Sunday it does. It gets up there to Philly -3, right?
A ton of money coming in on
it. And then I think I think so. I mean, it just makes sense, right? They're the better team. They're at home. I'd say they're the better. They're a really good team. They're at home. They were the best team. They had the best record in the league. Is what I was trying to get at.
Well, only by 1 game.
Right, 1 game.
They were terrible against the spread, though.
And you know what everybody's looking at? It's the same thing they talked about the last game why Cowboys were getting so much love. It's the Brock Purdy deal. Yeah. It's why the Bengals are favored because Mahomes is injured. The Eagles are favored, not as favored as much as I thought they were going to be favored. Honest, if I'm being honest, I thought it would be 3.5, 4.
Kind of hope he gets there.
Yeah, simply because Brock is a rookie, 7th-round rookie.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I went on a rant. You knew I had something coming. I think it was Colin Cowherd I was listening to. He was railing on and on, or something, maybe Michael Wilbon. I can't remember which one. Somebody or Tony Cornhusker. It was some I know. Where's Cowherd now with Fox or something like that?
I don't
anyway,
know.
some national dude is going on about how Brock is a 7th-round quarterback. There's a reason he was taken in the 7th round. He doesn't have a great arm. He has some mobility, but it's not great. His accuracy is what he relies on in his decision-making. But you can't just – he's basically saying that he's the worst quarterback in this group that's left, and I get it. That makes sense, 7th-round rookie. But he kept talking about 7th round and 7th round. But yet, when it comes to Tom Brady, you want to talk about how wonderful of a find it was for Tom Brady to come in the 6th round.
Good scouting.
Right. But when it comes to Brock Purdy, it's, there was a reason. And they kept saying, he's still a 7th-round quarterback. All right. You can't make the same argument. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, right? Yeah. If Brady was and I get it, he's got a whole body of work to show how wonderful he is. But you can't just dismiss Purdy because he was in the 7th round. Maybe the 49ers loved him in the 5th round, but knew nobody was going to take him and waited.
Yeah.
And got their guy super late. Obviously late, the last pick of the entire draft. Yeah. So, anyway, the kids made me fall in love with him, obviously, because he wears my colors, and that's who you like, right? You like the guys that wear your colors. So,
unless there's Matt Canada.
Unless it's Matt Canada. Oh, goodness. All right, so I think we're done with the football, right? We don't have much to talk about. The receiver props in the Chiefs on the Chiefs side. Watch those props.
Go over the numbers real quick. Just 31% of the bets taken on the spread, which is -2.5, are on the 49ers. 9% of the money bet on the spread is on the 49ers. That means
9% of the money.
if you believe in the chicanery of the NFL and whatever, you go get you some of the
That
49ers,
right? Yeah, that's absolutely. Or if you want to, you wait, hope that line goes up, and you get the money line better if you think they
get
could
that
win
field
it.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that money line is even it's about the same.
But I mean, it might move up. Like if it's plus what? What's it? Plus 150, 160?
I don't know what it's minus 140.
Eight for the Eagles. So you're looking at plus 120 something. You may get it. It may move to 130, 140, 150 if you wait and that line moves. Of course, it could come down and then it could all change on you. But yeah, I mean that's a contrarian bet right there. Taking the 49ers. I mean, if you're into that, a lot of people are into that kind of thing. Tough task. I get it, but I'm ready for it.
It'll be a good one.
All right. What other? That was just numbers you want to talk about that game.
Yeah, I mean I can go over whatever you want to go over though.
No, you just said you wanted to go over the numbers. I didn't know if you were talking about both games or just that game.
No, I can pull up the other one too. I thought I already did, but I'll do it again. Just for.
Well, and I think this is going to be a little, for me, this is going to be some NFL nostalgia. I believe we're going to end up with the third iteration of the Bengals and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. And hope that we can go 3-0 against them.
We talked about that like 2 months ago.
Remember the prop bet?
Yeah,
the prop bet. What was it, like plus 2,500?
A good one. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yep. So, yeah, I think we get the third rendition of that. And
yeah, you're getting a lot of spread money on the Bengals at -1. The money line or the total bet, the totals is about even. A lot of money line Bengals bets too. So, but that goes back. You're talking about an injury there, though. You're not talking about that thing could flip in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that Mahomes got hurt. You like to see a really, really good game. I don't know how much of that game I'm going to watch. It all depends on how the first game goes, obviously. I may not have a TV left in the house if the first game goes bad. So.
That'll be fine. You kid. I know you wouldn't do that.
Well, it's funny you say that when every time we get ready for a big game, all of y'all sit in places where you think I can't throw shit.
Oh, we get behind you.
You get behind me. So, yeah, because a can of dip can turn into a
missile.
A throwing star in a heartbeat. God rest his soul. Remember, I almost hit B-Mac right in the back of the head with that thing. He ducked and it hits the wall, explodes everywhere. Lots of fun. Yeah. We do have a good time, though. We like to party, have a good time, watch the football. So, anyway, yeah, I think I see the Bengals and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. I mean, I hope. That's what I'm hoping for. That's my prediction for the weekend.
Got you.
Love the Robbie Gould. I'm glad you saw that. I love that. I like the Jalen Hurts under. And probably look at Joe Mixon over rushing total.
Yeah.
And I pick a receiver on the Chiefs. I don't. I mean, right?
It's so hard to know who they're gonna. I mean, because it doesn't matter. I mean, they're gonna just roll them all out there, and whoever's hot, that's who they're gonna go with.
I might try to take a stab at that Jarrett McKinnon.
Back to the well?
Getting a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, I just they dialed that play up a couple of times last week, and it just wasn't there. I mean, they went to it. It just he was covered.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All right, so let's move on to some other topics. I had something right on the top of my head, and I was about to bring up, and I totally forgot what it was.
The UFC?
But yeah, let's just get into that because
that was fun.
I can't think about what I yeah, so this past weekend, UFC, I don't remember what number it was. You remember?
283.
283. So the first fight that we all kind of enjoyed, I know one person that didn't enjoy it. Jessica Andrade took on, you say, what was the girl's name? Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy?
Yes, sir.
Boy, there's no reason for her to be in that ring. I mean, that was not good. Not good at all for her.
She did not perform well. She got punched in the face repeatedly.
A lot. Over and over
over. Look.
Oh, there it is.
I wish I could share my screen.
Yeah, that's so bad. So, I mean, we enjoy it, but, man, you just some of the punches that they take. Yeah, but Jessica Andrade came back and and looked really good. I hadn't seen her fight in some time, and of course she's Brazilian, right? So she
Yeah.
was in her home country.
I think the
And
only one she's ever lost to is Nunez, but I ain't 100% on that. I'm
and
not a
got it
UFC
going.
guy, but
So I don't know if she's in that weight class or is she in Rose Namajunas' weight class?
maybe.
We didn't know. Rose beat Amanda, right? Rose beat Nunez. Isn't that who took down?
No, that was
No,
Carla
no, that
Esparza,
was
wasn't it?
Esparza. It was Nunez. I mean,
No. Wait. No, that's not right.
Namajunas took down the Wei Lee girl,
Yeah.
and I forgot who else she beat. Maybe Nunez came back and beat I don't remember. I know that, but that fight that we saw Nunez lose was bad. She didn't look like she belonged in the ring that night.
Yeah, but she came back and got her belt back.
I got
though.
it back. Yeah.
Julia Pena.
Julia Pena.
Oh.
Look, I enjoy the women fights. They really get after. I like watching the Wei Lee girl from China. Her fight with Joanna. Her name starts with a P. Her last name I cannot pronounce. She's Polish. But
It starts with a J, doesn't it?
her first name does. It's like Joanna something. I can't remember her last name, but she's Polish.
Probably can't say it anyway.
But that fight between her and Wei Lee was one of the greatest UFC fights I've ever seen. They hit each other repeatedly, and nobody backed down. Joanna's forehead literally swole up like a grapefruit during the middle of the fight, and she just kept going. Wei Lee wins by decision. And that's when Wei Lee came back to fight, and I was really on her and Rose foot to the head, and it was over.
Yeah, she's got her belt back too.
So they're a lot of fun to watch. But let's talk about the main event and how that thing should have ended in late in the third round,
in the
early in the
towel in that son bitch. That was terrible.
I mean, I don't know. Give it up to Glover for sticking around in that fight and not.
No, but here's my thing on that though.
Man, Teixeira's face got mutilated.
That's his job. Your job as a fighter is to go out there and perform and fight. Your job as a trainer
To
and
get
a
him out of
coach
there,
is to keep him from not being able to
Yeah.
remember his kid's
And
name.
I don't blame it on the ref either, because they're told all the time, if the guy's got any fight in it, do not end this thing early, because the fans go nuts. The fighter goes nuts when it looks like it was ended too early. And he constantly looked like he had a little left. I don't know how, but man, what was his name? Jamal. I don't remember his last name.
I
but
don't know who his pharmacist is, but good God, I bet he rung up some stuff.
But Jamal put a beating on him, and I don't know that he's very good. You know, that kid got gassed. I mean, but he was throwing so many punches. Didn't we look at one time he had hit Teixeira like 220-something times? I mean, it's just unbelievable how much he poured onto that guy.
I had those stats pulled up a while ago, but I really don't want to look at that. It's terrible.
Did you see the picture today our buddy sent of his face? His face was literally, it looked like a mummy. He had so much tape and stuff all over his face, covering everything up. Well, I hope that's his last fight. Wasn't that his retirement fight?
I believe he did retire, but I don't know if he even knew what he was doing.
He may not have at the end. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so we'd like to dive in the UFC, and we'll start putting those. We always take some stabs at the UFC. I got something I want to bring up, Paul.
Bring it up.
Probably one of these nicest human beings on the planet
Well, thank you.
happens to be a former football coach.
Oh, well, crap.
He was the first black head football coach to win a Super Bowl. And I'm speaking about Tony Dungy.
Oh, yeah, are you selling the brand again?
Look, this guy died. Everybody knows he's a Christian, and he talks about his faith. But he doesn't do it publicly he doesn't do it on the platform like when he's on TV with NBC Sports. He doesn't do it during football time. He doesn't do it during those times.
No.
He does it so if he puts out a tweet, it's from his own personal thing. He's not making use of his platform by saying Tony Dungy at NBC Sports says this.
Yeah,
So, you know, I mean, there's a couple of things that
I
have
thought
happened.
you were going down a 49ers line.
No,
there.
there's a couple of things that have happened here. He tweeted out a thing that he was gonna go and join the March for Life, which that is a pro-life. Again, we're talking about abortion. He's pro-life, obviously, as a Christian. He's pro-life. I mean, that's what you have to be if you follow the Christian faith and that's what you are. You're not going to be pro-choice. I mean, that's pretty simple. I mean,
Right.
It's cut and dry.
Got it.
And this guy, you've heard of Keith Olbermann, right? Used to be with
Yeah.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Just an awful human being
Well,
is
he's
what
got-
he's turned into.
He spends a lot of time on his hair.
After Dungy tweeted out that he was going to join the March for Life, Olbermann sent this tweet: "Dear at NBC Sports, if you have any remaining concern for your operational reputation, fire Tony Dungy now. Tony Dungy now. He is using you." How is any of what Tony Dungy did when he tweeted out from his own personal Twitter that he's going to join the March for Life?
Yeah,
Isn't that his own? Can he do what he wants to do?
He's supposed to. Why,
It sounds like to me.
why
Sounds
didn't
like
he tweet out to the Colts and whoever else he was a coach of? Didn't he play for the Steelers too? Why not get them involved?
I mean, this is ridiculous. Keith Olbermann needs to find a hole, crawl in it, and never come back out of it. I mean, this guy. How can you be out there telling Tony Dungy that he can't support pro-life? I mean,
Yeah, I didn't.
all these radicals want to talk about that you can't suppress opinions. You're literally doing the same thing when you do that. Anyway, the other thing he's in trouble for, well, he didn't get in trouble for, but he put out another tweet where he heard about a representative of some state, I can't remember what state it was in, but was calling for menstrual or female products, menstrual products, to be placed in men's bathrools. Paul,
Okay, all right.
how many men do you know have menstrual problems
I know.
and need female products?
There's a couple of them I suspect, but I don't know for sure.
But biologically, can they menstruate?
I'm not getting into this. I don't know. I don't know what people do and don't do.
All right, here I'm just gonna tell you. Basically, here was the gist of Dungy's tweet. He said, "Well, that's something." He said, "He said I saw that they were providing litter boxes for students who identify as cats."
Well,
Taking a shot at this whole
be-
gender deal. I mean, and people want him fired over that too, and that's ridiculous. You can have your own opinions about that, and but come on, what is this world coming to? When we want to put Tony Dungy
he's all right with me.
out of work. I mean, come on, let's do better, America. Do better.
He's got a podcast.
Yeah, go listen to it. It's great.
Countdown with Keith Olbermann.
Oh, Keith, I thought you were talking about Tony. I wouldn't give Keith a click of anything ever. You got anything else? I got something else.
I don't know if I don't know. I'm nervous.
So Patrick Reed's always been kind of the villain in golf.
Oh yeah.
He plays with the.
He's the cheater.
Yeah, and he left the PGA Tour to go play on the Live Tour, the Saudi Arabia backed tour. But now has a TV deal with CW. Did you hear about that? They're going to be on TV now. You don't have to YouTube them. They're going to be on the CW.
Yeah.
Isn't that in your favorite network, the CW, where you catch all your?
That's where you get
Supernatural. Yeah.
and all the
I thought so.
comic stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
when it was on.
So Patrick Reed at a tournament on the practice green, I believe, or the practice area, he went up to tell Rory McIlroy hello, and Rory never even looked up and acknowledged him. And supposedly, when Patrick walked off, he tossed a tee at Rory. And so people asked him about it, and he said, "I didn't want to speak to him." He said, if he did throw a tee at me, I had no idea that it happened. He said, of course, now if I'd thrown it at him, I'd be expecting a lawsuit because, Patrick is suing everybody.
Yeah.
He's sending lawsuits out left and right, thinking he's been defamed or defamation of character or whatever.
Yeah.
But I like this side of Rory McIlroy. I've never seen it, never been a huge fan of his golf. I mean, he's a good person, I imagine. I've just never been a big
Oh, he's a great.
a big fan. I mean, a
was-
really good golfer.
He
But
was one of the ones that was out front of this live tour thing,
Yeah,
saying
ever
that there's
since
no
that,
way, there's no way that he would ever do that. I guess it's the where the funding come from for that whole setup. I don't know what everybody's real issue is. I haven't researched it that much, and
Yeah.
that's shame on me for not. But apparently, there's strong feelings among a few on both sides, and I
oh,
think,
absolutely. I like this new patch. I like this new Rory. I
Yeah.
mean, he's shown some fire and some passion, and it's just a different. He came up so young.
Yeah.
Now he's grown into a man. He's just. I like this new fire that he's got about him. So it
Wow.
kind of tickled me. I'm kind of a Rory. Maybe I'll be a little Rory fan. I mean, watch him at least more than I used to.
there you go.
Anyway, there's a couple of things I had there. I didn't. Just wanted to bring it up. And you had the UFC, so anything else? I swear I had something else, and it just completely.
No, we're getting
Flew
ready to
past
knock his
me.
trivia show out, make a scene, make a show, make a whole episode.
Well, we hope make everybody laugh at least, right? Laugh at us or laugh at somebody.
Either make them laugh or make them move. That's all we
Make-
care about.
Yeah, we'll get them moving around and shaking. We'll do something. All right, so look, big weekend coming up. Big Sunday in the NFL. See who's going to go play in the Super Bowl. I think that's February the 12th is the date of the Super Bowl. It's 2 weeks from this coming Sunday. So I guess they're still having the ridiculous Pro Bowl. On
And the flag football tournament.
That's so ridiculous. I mean, you go to that, you stay in that game just to get the trip, right?
Well, it's legit a flag football game this year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's no tackling involved, which there wasn't much anyway. But
Yeah. I mean, as it should. I mean, why tackle? Why get yourself hurt? They shouldn't even play the game. You just get an award. You just give them a trophy, give them an extra little amount of money in their contract. I'm sure it says they get money for making the Pro Bowl. I mean, there's no point in playing that game.
yeah,
It makes no sense.
it's silly.
All right, so I don't know. I don't know if you noticed my new Grizzlies hat I got. Went to the game recently. It was a lot of fun seeing Ja up close and personal, and Jaren Jackson and the crew. Now on a 3-game losing streak, so I don't know if that was my
Well,
fault
they've
or.
been on the West
but-
Coast though.
So we'll get that turned around. Yeah, so I guess we're going to end it there. Good luck this weekend. I don't know if we're going to come back, but we'll tweet out some college basketball picks, I'm sure. We'll start diving in that in the next few days, as there'll be tons of games, obviously, over the weekend to take a look at. And hopefully at some point we'll get the new intern to TikTok those things out.
Yeah, I don't know what the Ole Miss Oklahoma State line's going to be, but I don't really care.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just blind bet it.
Blind bet it, yeah. Just take one to win. I mean, my goodness, that poor program is in the tank. So I guess we'll end it right there with the Rebels in the tank. And
Yep.
go 49ers. And I hope it's a good weekend for your boy right here. So for Poolside Bets, I'm Franklin. That's Paul. And we'll see you next time. Go Niners.